Hey guys, Mitch here with the TheAudioDabbler YouTube channel, and just doing another part of this little series messing around with the velocity mapping inside of Beatmaker 3. Just show you, another fun way to do it. I'll leave a link in the description of the other two videos where I talk about using velocity to do some dynamic hi-hats and to do a guitar pluck with a slide on or slide off. But this one I'm going to, okay, so I've got a synth patch here, or not a synth patch, but a sample, to where I just sampled in the scale of C. I just kind of stepped up. And so I want to slice that up and then use it across the keyboard, or use it across the spectrum on one single pad, so that you can kind of play it with the velocity trigger here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to slice mode and edit and bring up a bigger screen. And I've learned the slice mode, it takes a few minutes or a little bit to get used to it, but once you get it, the updates that they've done to it is pretty spectacular. And so right now it's one slice, and so I can click up here and that'll add another slice, and then I can drag this. Okay, I can click up here again. So you kind of click up here in the timeline, and that will allow you to create a new slice. And then you just drag it where you want it. Drag it where you want it. And drag it where you want it. And then boom, there you go. There's slices. Now if I want to click in here and really nail down where that one is, then I can do so. Drag around. Really. And so it's not creating slices when you're selecting inside of here. You're selecting that particular slice. And if you want to add a new slice, you can. You just have to click up at the top. Okay, so then I can zoom back out and say I got everything the way I want it. I can save, slice to multiple layers, because I want them each on a different layer, and apply. Okay, so now if I go into where I'm at, mappings, you can kind of see that it kind of puts them across the board inside the thing, which would be fine. But what I want to do is I want to have them all on the same note. And so I can just click C and C, C and C, C and C. So it's pretty easy, pretty quickly you can do this. And then the last one. And so now they're all on C3. And then I can go over here to the samples and I can start messing with the velocity. So let's say layer 1, I want it down here to like 20. Layer 2, I want the low up at 21 to 39, 40. Alright, so got it all sliced up. I did run out of room, so I'm just going to delete the last layer. And so now, but you'll notice we're running into the issue when I'm down here trying to select that layer, it's not giving me the right velocity. And so I've got to go into the layer effects and bypass it. And so that's something you kind of have to do for all of them. You got to bypass the velocity. But now that that's bypassed, so when you banks, let's just pull in some drums. Yes, that's fine. Alright, so let's pull in a bank here and create a little groove track. So already got a groove. Let's bring up the tempo here, like 135. Let's see, it's already got some built-in tempos, so okay, kind of like that. Okay, so now I can go back to so if I want to record something in here, let's see, create a new pattern here. Four bars. Let's click on it, and let's click out of that so we can get to this. And so it just gives you another way, kind of a different way you could, you know, have one pad here and have it trigger, you know, across the board a bunch of different samples, and just kind of have some fun with the layering. And you could layer in, you know, multiple things if you wanted to. I don't know which ones I'm triggering here. You know, and you could go in and you know, add some different effects and things like that. But you know, just there's a lot of stuff you can do with these mappings here, and you can see how it's just laid across. And so just the biggest thing to remember is, if you want to do something like this, is to make sure you go under the modulations and bypass the note velocity. That way you can trigger things here, and you can always adjust the gain of the sample here. And I'll go ahead and show you, if you're in the pattern, go under patterns here, and you can see that's the pattern MIDI, and that's what's controlling the notes. And so I could bring this note down if I wanted to, and that would trigger a different sound. But if I wanted to automate the velocity in that particular pad, then I can go under select parameter, and then I have all the different layers here. So I'm under pattern automation, and then I say 1, and then there's the gain. And so now I can go, if I wanted to automate the gain on it a little bit, and so it would be nice, you know, if I actually labeled them and I'd know exactly which one I was doing. But I'm not into labels. If I want to add another pattern to layer 2 gain, and so there's layer 1 gain, layer 2 gain, you know, just draw it in however I want to. And so there's a way you could still have some volume automation with the modulation here of the note velocity being bypassed. And that's just gonna, and that's good for anything. If you don't want to have it, if you want to set it to a fixed velocity, then just bypass that, and regardless of how you trigger it, it's going to trigger the same fixed velocity here. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys later.